Hi, it's your PsychoBuddy. Being a peer support specialist, a professional peer support specialist with a mental health provider is very challenging and very rewarding. I think that I'm certain that doing it catalyzed a lot of personal growth for me, and from the feedback I was given, it was very helpful to a lot of people as well, because being a mental health provider who has an experiential understanding of what my clients went through allowed me to interact with them in a completely different way, and it allowed me to contribute to the professional team that was working with them in a powerfully insightful way as well. I think that it was of benefit to my clients and my colleagues and my supervisors that I was able to play that role, and it came at great cost to me. There are several reasons for that. One of them is I had been a stay-at-home mom for 10 years prior to getting that employment. So there was a lot of stress just from being full-time in an office building where you're on socially all the time. I found out that I needed a door that I could close to cry behind, because for me that's a coping mechanism. And which meant I needed an office really, and that was kind of a hard thing for them to provide because it was a community mental health center, on Medicaid funded. I also had a yoga mat, a pillow, and a blanket, because sleeping is another coping mechanism for me when I am highly emotionally activated or highly dissociative. The personality, when different personalities take over and have a very intense experience, I need to sleep or lay down and breathe at least. I would recommend the position on a part-time basis if you have intense trauma, or if you have a severe mental illness. I think it is of great service to others to do it. It's of great service, and it's healing for me. It was healing for me to have these aspects of my life that I had always tried to keep hidden suddenly be my superpowers and suddenly be valued by the psychiatrists, psychologists, and therapists on the team helping the clients with me. I worked in an Anxiety Intensive Outpatient Program, and I taught I led groups and did one-on-one client therapy. And, well, not therapy, but I think it's called supportive counseling, since I don't have a degree in that. And my specialization was in exposure therapy for the anxiety IOP. So people would go 9 hours a week to the groups that we would treat. No, 6 hours a week to the groups we would treat, and then they would have the other 3 hours of therapy with a clinician targeting anxiety, and an hour with me, and an hour of something else. I can't remember, psychiatrist maybe. And the hour with me was spent working on a thing that they wanted to do but couldn't because of their anxiety. And the way I'll describe in detail in another video the way that we would do that, but basically it was through carefully designed strategic exposures that got progressively more challenging and closer to the thing that the person wanted to do in their life. I would, lots of ums in this video, I would say that the thing to consider if you're considering this field is how good you are at boundaries of thought and how intense your own trauma is. Because I sucked at both of those. I made it a year and a half, but it was a lot of crying. And after a year and a half, someone came in who had been raped in the same way that I was, and I just resonated too much. I couldn't keep it out. And it doesn't help people if you can't keep it out. If you get in the pot of suffering with someone, it really doesn't help them. The only way that you can help them is to stay out of the pot and have compassion for them, and be like, boy, man, that's horrible. I really understand. I bet it felt like this and this. I'm so sorry that you went through that. What can I do to help? Like, that's compassion. But crying with them just doesn't help anybody, and it certainly hurts me. And then I had an issue with my supervisor where my team hesitated to talk to me about the rape because they knew my history, and the supervisor got really upset that the team couldn't discuss the patient because of me, and I quit, basically. But on the whole, I had a very positive experience, very healing, and my life changed a lot in a really positive way because I was a peer support specialist with the mental health center that I worked at. So I would really recommend doing it if your trauma and mental illness aren't so severe that you get triggered by other people who share it. It's definitely a service to the world, and you can grow a lot from it.